Hey friend, in this video, I'm teaching you how to paint some moon cycle bookmarks because why not cutify? I don't think that's a word, but it is today, starting today, July 3rd, 2021. Cutify is now a word. It's in the dictionary. We're gonna cutify our books and we're gonna read more. Dang it. So maybe this will get me to read more. Now that I have these bookmarks. So I'm going to show you how to paint these fun moon cycles and full moons, and then also a fun pattern for moon cycles to go on bookmarks, and how to hand tear them so they look all pretty and cute. Another new word. Cute for your bookmarks. So if you're ready, let's do this. Okay, so for this tutorial, I've got a jar of ink. Well, actually, this is gouache, not ink. But it is an ink jar originally. And I'm going down the long side of my paper and I'm just going to pencil outline the jar for like 5 or 6 circles. And I'm going to show you how to hand tear it. We're going to make a fun moon cycle bookmark type of thing. All right, so I've got my jar. I want to make sure I'm not too close to the edge, top or side. And I'm pointing my pencil. This is just a light Blackwing matte pencil, making sure to sketch super light. Pointing my pencil toward the jar as I rotate around to get a light sketch, an outline of a circle. Clean up any weird bumps that you make. And then I'm just eyeballing. Doesn't need to be perfect, but of course you can space it out perfectly with measuring beforehand. If you want, you'd need to measure whatever it is you're outlining first to see how many you can fit on the page, and then spacing wise on your paper. But I kind of like the look of eyeballing it. So we're gonna have room for one more after this one. And for these moons as a bookmark, what's really crucial about this, because it's really easy, obviously, we're not doing anything crazy, but what's really crucial about this is your color palette. So I like to think of a mood or some sort of theme that I want to go for my specific color palette. So that could be spring, that could be soil, earthy tones, that could be, I want to think about the ocean when I look at this bookmark, or a specific type of area, a specific location that's a beach that happens to have the ocean in it because it's a beach. So your color palettes, or my color palettes when I'm thinking about color palettes, are usually reflective of a theme or a mood or some sort of vibe that I want to capture. So I'm going to do, because I'm all about the earth tones these days, I'm going to do an earthy soil California vibe, California beach color palette. So I'm grabbing sap green, some burnt umber. It's going to be my main, or my top circle. And then for my ocean color, I'm gonna grab Prussian blue, cobalt blue, and some burnt umber. So these are nice together. I wanna contrast that with some, you think about California, you think about the sunsets. So I wanna bring in some cotton candy sky sunset pink with some opera rose, cadmium orange, and then maybe that same base with opera rose, cadmium orange, and then I'm gonna add cobalt blue to it for a smoky shale purple. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. We've got green moves into blue, moves into purple. We're thinking about how the color wheel spins. So green moves into blue, moves into purple, is moving into more of our red tones. So let's maybe get in some gold, yellow in there. I'm landing on specific colors because it reminds me of the vibe that I'm trying to capture. So a golden yellow color because I'm thinking about California, the golden sunset over the ocean, cotton candy skies, deep blue ocean, and like the cactus kind of shale green plant foliage situation you'll see in Southern California beaches. So I'm gonna grab my first color, this shale green, and what I'm gonna do is I am going to lay down a lighter wash of it first. And I've got my size 6 round brush, just filling in the circle kind of quickly because I'm gonna add darker color on top of it while it's still wet. And what gives it this fun texture once it dries to look like a moon is loading up with more color on your brush and just kind of dropping it in. I like to go along one of the edges and somewhere in the middle, but kind of just leave it really spotty like that. And then once it dries, it's gonna look like the moon craters texture. Maybe grab a dry brush and soften the edges of some of it if you need to. But then we're just gonna move on. This is super easy. Next is our blue. So I'm gonna grab the pigment and make it into a wash color, which is mostly water on there, but not too much water. So we wanna make sure to dab on the paper towel first before going to your circle. And then grabbing more of that pigment, dropping it in. Next I'm gonna do the purple, smoky purple from all the smog we get in California. Moons, moons, moons. Lovely colors. Now let's brighten it up a little bit. As you can see, the green is already starting to dry a little bit, so it's looking fun. Just going to the blue and kind of picking up some of the dark blue because it's kind of taking over a little too much. So before it dries, I'm soaking some of it up. I'm noticing the same about this pink. There we go. Now on to our final color, our golden yellow. Okay, so for the next moon bookmark piece thing, I'm not going to use pencil at all, and I'm going to kind of create like a moon cycle and just repeat it all the way down, kind of like a pattern. And I'm going to use some golden colors, some of this purple, maybe make it a little bit more smoky with some cobalt blue. And an orangey vibe. So we're tying it in with these more natural colors. So I'm just gonna start with a circle. So full moon. Maybe a little smaller than these moons over here. So I've got a vertical hold and I'm swirling it around with my fingers like this. And then I'm gonna push it over to a slanted hold to fill it in quicker. And I wanna work while this is still wet. I'm gonna maybe do a half moon in this purple color. I'm not really following directions or a formula. I'm just kind of switching up the colors and the type of moon. So outline first and then filling it in and letting the moons bleed into each other. So we're kind of creating like totems with our moons. I'm gonna do yellow. No, I'm gonna do green. And these aren't gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be cute. And then maybe we are starting with a half moon facing the other way for this totem. So I'm just doing 3 moons together. And just slightly changing up the hues with each grouping. So full moon maybe for the second one on this one. And another half moon, but facing the other direction. Maybe it has more cobalt blue in this for this time. Little bleeds. We started with orange at the top with our last one, so I'm going to do a green full moon. So following the earthy tones and just switching up the moon shapes and the colors here and there to add variety and movement and make this look real cool. Maybe we can squeeze one more in there, starting with a half moon. Those are nice colors together. Now I'm thinking some yellow. Two half moons, just cause. Cute. Now, I need to make sure that one side is at least dry so I can put my ruler down. And this side feels good and dry. So I'm gonna take this sheet off. Be really careful if your painting is still wet to not let it drip. And then I've got my ruler. What the heck happened there? Somehow, oh, the holes. So I've got my ruler. I'm gonna go and eyeball where the in between these two is. So I'm gonna tear very carefully and follow, like press down on the ruler right next to where I'm tearing. Kind of take the wider sheet, the wider half, and pull in and press down really hard on the ruler so it doesn't tear into this. Got a cute rough edge. And you can tear this down on these edges if you want that to be a rough edge too. But then we're gonna go on this one and do the same thing for the other side, because this would be a weird shaped bookmark if we didn't. So staying right on top of the ruler where I'm tearing. Going about 1 inch to 2 inches at a time. Boop. And there you go. You can make this into mini bookmarks if you want. This is obviously a really long one. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you loved it. Again, in this video, I used some earth tones, but go off of what's inspiring you. Maybe that's something more spring and more vibrant and playful, or you want some hot pinks and neons in there. You do you, whatever is gonna get you to crack open those books. That's all, folks. I got a good one. Comment below with your favorite book you've ever read, because that might get me to read more too. Comment below with your favorite book. My favorite book recently has been Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. Out of left field, so random, but so good. And you have to listen to it on audiobook because his voice is obviously, you want him to read this book to you. Really good book, highly recommend. So put your recommendations below and let's just start a book club now that we have these cute bookmarks. All right, thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.